Okay, back. Sorry for the delay. What the hell is someone inviting me twice? Um. Anyways. I need to change the audio settings. Q2. There was Q1, but I missed it. So. Sorry. But it's Q2. Just a few minutes started. Anyways, we focus now on Q2. First drivers are gonna start their own laps. The first one is gonna be F1 Lewis. So Luke has joined the back. I guess some problems he had with network maybe. But Lewis has started his own lap as there are yellow flags at the end of sector 2. That is Jovi is the only from all on track, so it's easy to recognize. As well, more people are starting the laps, as well as Reggie, who I believe here in Brazil he can win this championship. That's why I came back here. But yeah. Then no. Where's my phone? Okay, no. No, nothing. Lewis, I think he invalidated his lap. That's what we know. I don't know. Has he spun something? Anyways, the first driver to finish their lap is gonna be Coke with a time of 18.804. As Reggie goes into the pits, he has well invalidated his lap. Lewis maybe is now starting second flyer, as Tur goes P2 with 18.9, as there are more drivers behind Lamas, 19.3. Jovi with 110.0, and more drivers are still finishing their laps, as I think Lebby, as well there's Gemini who has spun out of turn 6. He's cutting a corner as well, turn 7. Yellow flags at turn 4 and 7. Yeah, that's turn, yeah, I got those corners right, luckily. Actually there's one Ferrari missing, so I guess Matt has gone out of Q1. Skoke is gonna probably go into the pits, and behind them there is an Noise who is gonna finish his lap. And is he gonna go faster? He's gonna go P3, 2.5 tenths slower than Coke. Here in Brazil, well, at least in F1 esports, the gaps are so tight. Rich goes P5, and Lewis just behind him has finished his lap with 109.9 and goes P6. As well, both Red Bulls next to start their own laps, as Lebby goes P6 with 109.5. There's as well Luke, I think, who is starting his own lap. The yellow flags in turn 7, 8, but not anymore. Luke is still going on a lap, as he overtook Noise, I think. We can as well appreciate the new special livery of McLaren, which Codemasters updated for this limited time. But Luke crosses the line and goes P3 108.932, just 4 thousandths behind her. Is there yellow flags out of second to last corner, I believe? Or maybe that's just one corner, I don't know. I didn't have that much time to look at the track map. As now Reggie, no wait, Shaza is here. I swear that they were differently. Anyways, Shaza is gonna finish his own time lap, and I don't think he will go P1, but he will go P3 between Tur and Luke. That's 1,000 behind Tur and 3,000 out of Luke. But now his own teammate is gonna come down to the line. No, he doesn't. He actually doesn't. He fakes me, and I think he used. This is his second fresh set of softs, which, well, it's not good. I think those were his second new set. As Lewis starts his own time lap with a snap going into turn 1. I think I saw him going onto the grass, which obviously is not really that good. And George as well. So, well, I think he's the only car out on track who's actually on a lap. Maybe Lamas, but he doesn't actually. No, it's Q2, so none of these drivers need to do a good lap. They don't even need to do a lap. They can just do like 1:13 and easy. Anyways, in the meantime, I'm gonna check what you guys are saying there because I'm kind of curious. Okay, it's just nothing really. Just saying hey and hello and like that. Well, welcome to the stream. Lamas is improving by almost 4 cents. Now, can he gain a bit on this third final sector? It's mostly straight, but still here you can gain 10th or lose 2, as he lost it, I think 300s, but he still goes P5, 500 behind his own teammate. It's very close between P2 and from P2 to P5, with only, if my math is right, like about 700s, 800s. As Lamas spins, going into turn 4. Reggie is on an out lap. He's gonna start his, well, hopefully final flyer of the session. Shaza is improving by 3/10. Can he gain a bit more time? Just a little tad more? We will see. He will probably go P1. P1 108.594, and that puts him P1. He improves by 3.5 tenths. Reggie with as well. He needs to set a lap. He's currently P14. But like I said, everyone can just do like a lap like Shemin did, 1:55, because it's Q2 and there's only 15 driver. And no, wait, no, I'm stupid. No, I'm stupid. It's Q2. No, I'm stupid. I don't know why, but when I was saying Q2, I thought that it was the same like in Q1. No, sorry. Sorry. But Reggie goes P1, the first driver what we have seen to go to 1 minute 7. He goes 107.953, 6/10 out of Shaza. But yeah, the drivers now in danger are Lewis, Jovi, well, F1 was R, Jovi, George, Shimonai, and Hybe. Hopefully I'm not mistaking anymore with this, because oh god, there's just a simple thing that it has been all the time that I've known, but all of a sudden now somehow I just forgot. Well, I've usually started the sessions in Q1 and not Q2. But yeah. Lamar starts in the pits as Leby starts his own time lap, I think. Jovi as well starts his own time lap. And I think his final timed lap, I think, as there is George who comes out of the pits. Probably like, well, not Red Bulls and maybe not Luke. I don't think Luke, but like Noise, Rich, and well, Leby is doing his lap, but like from Noise down, drivers will go. Well, Noise himself and then the drivers behind him will probably need to go out on track. Leby improves by 4 cents going into sector 2. Now, same for other drivers. Can he improve on this third sector? Maybe just a tad a bit better. He went that last like actual corner. He gained 1/10. He goes P8, just 5 thousandths behind Noise. Jovi is going to be next to cross the line with 2.5 tenths improvement. At the moment, he would jump Lewis, both of them, and he jumps both of them, and he goes P10. But there is as well George, who is starting his own time lap. Lewis in the Aston Martin is on an out lap, and I think Shimonai has come out of the pit lane. So I think Hybe and Lewis, something was happening here, but George is improving by 2 tenths already, as he gets, I think, blocked by the Alfa Romeo of Jovi, and that is the lap ruined for George. I don't know what was Jovi doing, maybe some strategic move so that George can't do a lap. I don't know. Well, George would have needed to improve by at least 1 second. 1 second, 1.2 seconds. But that was very dirty from Jovi. As we're seeing an Alpine when we are actually looking at Jovi or the camera. Lewis isn't improving, but he's actually losing time. 6 hundredths, as all of the like I said, all of the drivers, Noise and behind him, have gone out of the pit boxes. Final 30 seconds of qualifying are starting. Jovi is gonna, I don't know if he's gonna actually do this lap, but I don't think he will improve. Lewis is finishing his lap, and no, I don't know. I don't think he actually, does he have ERS? Well, he has ERS, but I don't know. As he spins out of the turn 2, and that's qualifying over for him. Lewis did not improve, or to Lewis in the Aston Martin. As well, I think Shimonai had some problems in turn 3, as Noise goes P2 out of Shazar. Rich, is he improving? He's improving by 1/10. George is as well improving by 8 tenths. But is it gonna be enough to jump Jovi? It isn't. It's not enough. 1/10 behind Jovi. That means that Jovi is in front, as well as Jovi blocks Shimonai. Well, Shimonai wasn't. I don't think he was anyways going into the going to improve. Hybe is gonna be the only driver right now who can stop Jovi, and he goes P8. So Hybe goes P8, Libby 9th, and Rich just goes into Q3. Jovi's tactics, I don't know was it actually tactics, but I'm gonna just call it like that. Jovi's tactics did not work, and he is out of Q2. George as well. Both Lewis's and Gemini as well. Both Lewis's. Both. It's hard to say that because both of them are F1 Lewis, but just one has after the word Lewis 4 and the other one has R. Like, Jesus Christ, why did you need to... Why did F1 Lewis R need to change that to F1 Lewis R when it was already good with Ultra Aim? Well, anyways, that's Q2 done. P1, Reggie with half a second gap to Noise. Then behind Noise is his Shazar, and then behind Shazar is Coke, then Tur, Luke, Lamas, Hybe, Lebby, Rich, Jovi, with some controversy probably with him, George and Chesh, maybe Shenamnai, I guess. Well, then George, Lewis 4, then is Lewis R, and then Shenumnai. That's actually the first time that I've said both of those names like how it's supposed to. Like, anyways, I can't just leave them alone. But that's Q2 done. Next, we're going into Q3. Reggie is looking here for pole position as well as all of the other races that I've commentated here. His own teammate Shazar probably trying to look for the front row lockout, since for both of the Ferraris don't have good pace. Well, one Ferrari went out of Q1, and Coke is not really doing, his pace is not really on the turbo. He's only Mercedes, so I don't think he will challenge the Red Bulls. The only driver who can stop Shazar to be on the front, to do the frontal lockout with Reggie is Noise. But now we go into Q3. Only 12 minutes. The weather has stayed the same. Let me just get this driver's standings. So Reggie is that's 60 points. Reggie is 60 points ahead of Noise. 64 points out of Coke, and out of his own teammate Shazar, he is about 67 points. No. Okay, I can't do math right now. I can't do math right now. So I can't do math right now. But there are only 4 races, 2 races to go actually. Well, this race and then 2 other. So, and there's a sprint, so that's 75. And then the sprint probably the same as usual, so it's 8 points. So, or 8 points for the win. So that's 75 plus 8, that's 82. I think that's 82. No. 8 plus... Can't do math, okay? Okay, I'm gonna just leave the calculations for the another time. Can't do math right now. But... Reggie Well, actually, Luke, I think, no. Luke has spun already, as I was trying to talk about him, the first driver to start the lap, but actually he didn't. He spun already out of turn 2, but Tur is actually the first man to start. No, yeah, he's the first man to. No, I'm confused as hell. I don't know anymore. I don't know who I am anymore. But Reggie starts with the purple sector 1. There's the Mercedes ahead of him. And actually both Mercedes were ahead of him, but both of them have let him through. So actually he has a clean track ahead of him, and we probably see the provisional pole sitter take provisional pole in here. Sector 2 is going to be the fastest, 51.603. Now, out of the last actual corner where you need to brake, and we go to the line, staying to as close to the white line as possible, and that is 108.083. That's a 1/10 slower than his time in Q2 though, so I think he can still find some time. Noise goes P2 with 108.394. Tur P3, but he's now starting his actual lap. Rich has started his own time lap. Lebby as well has started his own time lap. Shazad just coming out of the pit lane as he comes. Ooh, that was a bit dangerous from Lebby. I don't know what was he doing there, but that was a bit dangerous. As there's yellow flags in turn 8. That's Reggie. But Tur, he's he has pretty similar pace to Reggie, I think, with the sectors. And now we go. That's a very bad camera. We go now into the finish line, and that's actually further than I expected. 108.510. That's just above 4 cents slower than Reggie. Shazza and High. Well, actually, Shazza is gonna start his own time lap. Rich is gonna finish his own time lap with almost no ERS, but that's okay for now. That's P4 for him, 109.289. Already leading by Shazza, who has just started his own time lap. Hype as well, starting his own time lap now. Lebby, I actually don't know, has he started his actual lap anytime at the moment. It's maybe this lap that he's actually started his own time lap, like actual lap where he's trying to do something, or do some kind of a lap. Well, it seems like it, but I guess it will be a surprise to the end. As I think that was Shazza who was led by Lebby, so Shazza already messing up his time lap. As well, Rich was leading by Lebby. Lebby improving by 16.5 seconds. Now going to now just a few seconds, and he will be at the finish line. And that is 109.018. That goes P4 for him, half a second behind his own teammate Tur. Hype as well on finishing his own time lap, going just behind Lebby, 5th place with 109.056. That's to comparison randomly. That's just under 1 second slower than Reggie. Random comparison, I know. George leaves the session. Luke starts his own time lap. He doesn't spin. Oh, that was an interesting line through that to exit out turn 2 and going into turn 3. There's a bit strange line went off track. He didn't get invalidated. Well, anyways, Shaza, purple sector 2, and now to the finish line. There'll be 108. 108.055, and he goes P1, 27 thousandths ahead of his teammate Reggie. But for Shaza, I think he may get a second time lap, but Reggie is still in the pit box, and I don't think that was really a good time for Reggie, as Luke goes P7 with 109.168. Cook and Lamar still not have not set a time. As of right now, no driver is like actually on a timed lap. Shaza will go into the pits shortly, Luke probably as well, as there is a Red Bull going out of the pit garage. That's Reggie, and there goes as well Coke out of his pit garage. For Coke, hoping that he can get maybe like P3, P4, yeah, somewhere around there. But for Reggie, the mission is to get the pole position for the sprint, because we have a sprint. So that's an important aspect. But still, it's a very important thing to get the pole position, even on the sprint race, so that if it's just good. Around Brazil, it's easy to overtake. There are many places to, well, not actually that many places to overtake. There's turn 1, then turn 7, then if you want to be ambitious, then turn 7, and if you really want to, then turn 9, I think. That's the corner where Lewis and Albon had their infamous incident. But Reggie is going to start his own time lap, as his own teammate Shaza is now exiting the pit lane, as there are yellow flags out of turn 14. No, that's 12. That's turn 12, I think. But Reggie, he's not doing his time lap now. He's actually backed off of it. But Coke, it was 17-0, sector 1. We'll go with him to the sector 2, as he goes slow, so he as well, I think, backs off of it, I think. But it doesn't seem like it though. ERS usage is still on. No, it isn't. So the ERS is off. So he's as well backed off of it. Noise, I think he's starting his own time lap now. Reggie is gonna do shortly. Shaza as well. Lamas has started his own time lap, but he has invalidated. Coke, yeah, he is now starting his own time lap, and behind him there is Shaza, and then behind him there is Reggie. But ahead of them there is Noise. But there's some drivers there's Luke. No, Hybe is, I think, starting second time lap, maybe possibly trying to get the lap done, or like the try at least to make a better lap. And right now Lamas is gonna shortly start his own last time lap, as there is Noise who has spun out of turn 8, so that's qualifying done for him. And there's as well Leby who caused the yellow flags in turn 12, as Coke spins out of the turn 12, so that's qualifying for him done as well. Now Shaza is giving his own teammate slipstream, and Reggie is probably gonna improve to 17.611. That's 4.5 tenths faster. Behind them there is Tur, has not improved, and also Coke. That was the Luke has improved to P5. Hive improved to P6. Lebby, he's as well on a lap. Amas, he has as well trying to be, well, at least out of Coke. Maybe Rich. Rich has invalidated it, but what he could have done, well, 800 improvement. Lamas is gonna go into the finish line going P6. Lebby is just slightly improving, maybe trying to be at least out of Hive, but it doesn't look like it, and it doesn't. He doesn't improve his position. He improved his time, but he doesn't improve his position. So that's qualifying done, I think. Yeah, it's done. So Reggie, for the whatever time it is, P1, Shaza P2. So that makes the Red Bull front lockout. Noise P3, Tur P4, Luke and Lamas P6. So that's very good for McLaren as well. P5 and P6. Hybe goes P7, Lebby P8, Rich in 9th, and Coke. Bit disappointed if I would be him with the P10 in a Ferrari. But yeah, that's qualifying done. Next is the sprint race. And yeah, this is how it looks like. The qualifying 3. Yeah, I already said the position, so I don't think there's anything to add about. Well, like I said, Reggie had had something up in his sleeve still, but yeah. So I think still, well, Reggie is the championship leader with 60 points ahead of Noise. Yeah, 60 points ahead of Noise. Then Coke is 64 behind Reggie, and then Shaza is 75. So Shaza is just barely in it, in there. It was the two sprint. No, there is as well in Yas Marina sprint. So that's 16 plus 8, so 15 plus 75. That there are 101 points, and then if we add the fastest laps, then there is well, for the sprint I think, and for the race that's 6, so 101. 107 points are available in all. But now formation lap has started, and the Q1 was Albo, Kravitz. This is the same person, Ted, but just a different name. BBA Dog, Matt with P19, and Diego last. But now there is a formation lap for the sprint. Let's look at the tire choices that drivers made. All of them went for the mediums, besides Lewis in the Alpine, who went for the softs. So that's a bit. I don't know if can the softs last. Well, I don't know if the softs will last to the end of the race, as Reggie spun, and as well there is Luke, I think, who spun. No, that was Lamas. No, Luke. Sorry, Luke. Sorry, it was Luke. But yeah, Noise and Shinumnai have been disqualified from the formation lap, so they will start on the cold tires, as well as Coke and Kravitz. They as well are disqualified. But drivers will be going into the grid start shortly, as for Shaza, so many drivers randomly being disqualified. Shaza, Luke and Hybe as well were disqualified, so they will be as well starting on the, I think, cold tires. I don't know what was happening there with those, but the race is gonna start shortly. None of the cameras are showing the lights actually. I can't see 6 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and lights out, and away we go. Reggie still keeps the P1, but just what are these camera angles? But I think what was happening? So many drivers. What is happening at the back? They're going 3 wide, but Red Bull keeps their P1 and P2. Lamas up to P4. Turpy still stays in P4. Hype up to P5. And Noise down to P14, as there is Lewis and Kravitz that in the exit out of turn 5. As well, there's more accidents happening as Diego has been spun. Shinumnai going down, as well as Jovi. What is happening already in here, as well as Lebi, and as well Lewis in the Alpine. As Jesus Christ, I can't even keep up with the, as George has spun. What is happening here? I can't even keep up. Matt has already a penalty. Like I don't know. But Albo from absolutely nowhere. I think from P16 now he's in P8 and fighting with Coke for P7, going into turn 1. As there's more yellow flags down in turn 12. That's Lebi. Few people going into the pits, but Coke still keeping its 7th place. As Noise overtakes Luke, fighting for the positions that he needs for the championship. But what was going on in the first lap? Well, Red Bull, both of the Red Bulls kept their positions. Lamas up to P3, as he was starting, I think, P6. As there are more yellow flags at the back. That's F1 Lewis in the Alpine. Tur has stayed in his position. Hype P5 gained 2 positions. That's Diego spun out of turn 6. Ridge up to P6, 3 positions gained. Coke 3 positions gains, P7. Albo gains 8 positions. That's the same as Matt. Both of them gained 8. Albo in P8. Noise lost 6. There are more yellow flags. That's F1 Lewis in the Aston Martin. Luke looking for the overtake on Luke. Luke looking for the overtake on Noise, but at the meantime, Tur overtook Lamas into turn 4. Yeah, and Tur probably looking now for the maybe overtake on Shazza. But back to the positions gained or lost. Noise lost 6. I don't know what happened there. He was like Pete's, like it was so much happening in the back, like so many contacts and everything, like so many drivers have spun. Luke has lost 5 positions. Matt has gained 8. Joey has lost 1. Shinumna has gained 2. Lewis in the Alpine has lost 1. BB Dog has gained 3, but he's in the AI, I think. And that's Rich up to P7. Just over no. I think Noise Albo made a mistake out of turn 2, and now Noise and Luke got him, and as well Matt is looking hungry here as he sends it down inside into turn 4, and he made the overtake down stick, and Albo as well went a bit wide as there, and that's Diego who has spun. That's already a lapped car. Shinumnai 3 seconds. I can't even. I honestly can't keep up as there is more contact as Giovi goes into Shinumnai was with side by side with him. Yeah, but he just missed it. Coke has spun out of turn 10 and he used no, that's 11. Sorry, that's 11. I think as Shinumnai has spun again. That's now that's his own fault. And there's as well Diego who has spun, but Reggie, or both of the Red Bulls looking pretty fast, controlling their pace, as there is as well Lewis again spun in the Alpine. And there's as well, I think Albo as well. I think Albo spun as well, and he lost time to Matt, 5 seconds. That's again Shinumnai spun. More yellow flags, but yeah, Diego retiring the pits, and back to the Red Bulls. Well, they're keeping their gap clean. Well, Sheza just being outside of the DRS zone, but their pace is good enough to be to actually extend the gap to Tur, as there's a slow moving car. That's AlphaTauri, I think, of Shinumnai, as kind of dangerously going into the pits. Luckily he was ghosted. Lamas looking still hungry to re-overtake Tur for the P3. Shinumnai as well reside in the pits. As drivers had to avoid the moving AI of Diego, as now I don't think the AI has ruined theirs. But as well at the back now, Matt I think overtook Luke. Now that's him P8, but he has a penalty, I think 3 seconds. That's 5 seconds actually, so maybe some kind of contact with someone. Maybe that can be reinstated, maybe. As that's Lewis has lost position to BB Dog, but that's fight between a human and an AI. Lewis as well in the pits. As Shazza has gained time so that he's in the DRS zone of Reggie, but I don't think they will fight. I think they will just do a strategically this. So basically Reggie is gonna be in P1 and Shazza is just gonna stay in P2. George 3 seconds as well. I think there was Lamas has got 3 seconds. So well, that's already podium hopes from over. It's already lap 7. Albo into the pits. Hype looking still very close to both of these, Lamas and Tur, as there's a AI, no, not AI, but lapped car of Lewis. Lamas being very close to Tur into turn 11, now going into turn 12, still being very close. Now going to the main straight, yellow flags out of turn 6. Lamas lost a bit time now, but he has the DRS open, and he won't get the overtake here, but maybe he can get it towards the turn 4. The gap is still looking 3.5 tenths. He can get him. Is he gonna go into the inside? No, he is not. So he is not trying to overtake him here. Maybe now waiting for the turn 1. Sector 2 yellow flags, that's George spun. Red Bull still keeping their pace up. Well, now Luke, has Matt been spun? No, but Matt has lost time to Luke, and Luke overtook Matt, so I think Matt did some kind of mistake, as Diego has spun out of turn 11. No, that's Hype. Hype was in P5. He has made a mistake out of turn 11. Now he's down to P7, and now from gaining 4 points, now it's only 2 points for him and Haas. But maybe he can get Rich past. Well, I think there was some contact between them, and Rich has lost places to both Hybe and Luke. And maybe, oh, Matt's going a bit wide out of turn 3. That's a bit red. That's a bit red to go wide at turn 3. Anyways, well, there was some bit of contact as Lamas has spun going into turn 7, and he's gonna lose position. Well, he has lost positions to Noise. That's Noise up to P4. But Hype's still close to Lamas, as they were lap before. But now Hype is close enough as Lamas, I think, did a mistake again. His rear is absolutely nowhere, and both of the McLarens have spun out of turn 12, and that's now both of them out of the points. Now both of them are out of the points as Luke again spins. That's a disaster for McLaren in this sprint. Both of them have spun in turn 12, and that's Lamas P9, Luke P10, from P5 and 6 to now P9 and P10. Well, luckily this is only a sprint, so fraction of the points are awarded here, but then some points are awarded here, but the main race is the main event, the main dish, the main course, the main character here, you could say. Reggie is gonna in a few seconds start the second last lap, and he actually does a fastest lap of 109.635. Noise from the start, he was starting P3. He got I don't actually know what happened there, but he was spun, I think, by someone out of turn 1, and further going into lap 1, he gained a few positions back, and now lap 11 he's P4. So at least that's 5 points for the Alpine and Noise for now. Rich being very close to Matt, but I think he knows that he doesn't need to do anything, as there is Hype against spun, and that's Matt up to P5, but Hype is still ghosted, so Rich can, now he's not ghosted, and now they're going side by side into turn 10, and well, they didn't do what Alban and Lewis did. But that's Hype down to P7. Rich has lost the DRS to Matt as Hype has again spun. Maybe he can get that one point, maybe, as Reggie started few seconds ago. The final lap as well. Jovi has overtook Luke a minute ago, I think, as I think there's more overtakes down the order. Luke again spins out of turn 12. Lamas has overtaken Hybe, but Lamas has still the 3 seconds. Both of the Red Bulls are now going into turn 11, and Shortly going into turn 12. This has been a dominant sprint for them. Both of them had really good enough starts to miss the whole chaos, and they've been rewarded with Reggie getting P1 in the sprint and 8 points, Shaza P2 with 7 points. That's maximum point, actually 9 points for Reggie, so that's maximum points for the Red Bulls. Then it's Sir with P3, Noise P4 after being spun out of turn 1, Coke P5, Rich P6, Matt down to P7 because of this of his 5-second penalty, Lamas getting the final point, Hybe P9, could have been P5 but mistakes from him just didn't welcome him well. Joey finishing P10, Albo just finishing out of Levy with P11, Levy P12, Kravitz P13, Luke P14, and the last driver to complete this race is gonna be Lewis. Almost spinning. Almost spinning. Actually, I don't know if there's actually 2 points for the first lap. I don't know. I don't think actually there is, so that's only 8 points. I don't know. I don't know if there's actually a point for the first lap in the sprint, but that is Red Bull maximum points in the sprint. And now shortly we will go into the okay, there isn't. Okay, so now I know that there is no point for the no first lap point in the sprint. So, well, Reggie got 8 points and Shaza 7 points. So that's 15 points for them. Tur finishing the podium with P3. Nicely coming back from the fact that he was spun out of turn 1. Now P4, Coke P5, Rich P6, Matt P7, Lamas P8, Hybe P9, and Joey finishing the top 10. Lamas finished the point scoring positions. Now we go to the main event, main course, and it is raining, and it's raining heavily down here in Brazil. So it's gonna be very interesting when the race starts, and all of the maybe like half of the grid will spin in some part of the track. Yeah, it looks like it's raining for the wets, and in this game the wets are actually usable. Not like in real life, when as well in Suzuka, like not actually one lap and few people were actually going onto the inserts. But like I said, all the drivers have gone to the wait. Wait. How is... Well, Reggie has spun, but... How is Hybe P8? Something isn't right, because... Jovi was supposed to be P10, Hybe was supposed to... Am I... Wait, something doesn't feel right. Well, Levy has been already disqualified. I'm actually so confused. How like Lamas is P7 when he was supposed to be P8, Hybe P8 when he was supposed to be P9, Jovi P8 P9 when he was supposed to be P10. It's just a bit confusing. Well, anyways, uh, half a lap have used for that. The drivers will shortly go into the grid slots. And Reggie can win this race in here, as there's Coke who has spun. No, that's Matt actually. Coke and Diego has been disqualified. But Reggie can win this here. 60 points. Before the sprint it was 60 points between him and Noise, and 64 between him and Coke. Now it's 64 points he's ahead of Noise, and I think Coke, out of Coke, he's like, I don't know, I can't do math right now, like I said, but first light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and lights out, and away we go with the race. Now Tur getting a decent start, but Noise overtaking Tur already into turn 1. Reggie and Shazza still keeping their places. Matt up to P4, going a bit wide, as Noise has again been compromised now in turn 2. Actually, not that many incidents down in here, as I shouldn't have said that, because there are already few incidents, as there was, I think, a McLaren and a Williams collided. It's again Matt with 5 seconds. Luke down in P20. Coke up to P3. Tur down to P4 again. Matt up to P5, as there's a bit of battles between here, Levy and Kravitz, and as well Lamas and Noise. Hype as well has lost a few positions. As well as Albo has gained so many positions. I think he has gained a few positions, as Matt goes ahead of Tur, and that's Lewis in the Aston Martin who has spun, I think, and that is a virtual safety car. What is happening behind there? So many drivers going so slow. Delta, but so many drivers going slowly, as Albo goes into the pits, and as well Lamas and Hybe. Are these for the front wing change? Maybe they had front wing damage. Inters for Albo. He's the only driver to go into it. No, Hybe as well going into Inters. There are few drivers are gambling it for the Inters. 2 drivers only risking it for the Inters. It's a gamble. It's a gamble. In my opinion, it looks like for the wets. It still looks like for the wets, in my opinion, but drivers have a better feel in them, as the safety car should be ending now, as Levy gets the drive-through for speeding under virtual safety car, and that's, I think, Tur who has lost the position to Noise, and Noise is P7, yet P7. Now he's down to P8 after he spun, but he saved it, as Coke overtakes Kravitz. No, Kravitz I think overtook Coke, as there are more yellow flags down in turn 12. Jovi is P4, Kravitz P5, as he sets the fastest lap. Matt is fighting with Shazza. Shazza doesn't look like to have great pace. Matt's trying to go around the outside, but he had a little bit of a snap out of the turn 3. Joey and Kravitz still a bit fighting behind them. Tur has lost positions. Now he's down to P11, surprisingly, as Hype has retired in the pits. George down in P10, and we're slowing down a bit. Tur, as Tur is trying to overtake him, but he fails a bit. But Reggie, 3 seconds ahead of Shazza. 3.5. He's probably gonna dominate this race at this rate. Almost 4 seconds between. Already 4 seconds. Shazza doesn't have the pace. Absolutely nowhere. Reggie sets the fastest time. At the meantime, Matt overtook Shazza. Shazza doesn't have any pace whatsoever in this race right now, in the wets. Kravitz tries to overtake Jovi, and he managed to do so for now. But Jovi may be trying to go around the outside. He doesn't. But Ted, now he's trying to overtake Shazza going into turn 4. He's on the inside, and he didn't manage to. But behind him there was Coke, who overtook Jovi. Now Shazza and Kravitz are going side by side into turn 6 actually, and he managed to overtook him around the outside. Coke trying to go on the inside of turn 7, and now he's on the outside. A little contact between them, but he managed to. As Kravitz, I think Kravitz has a penalty. I'm not sure for what. George gambles as well to go onto the inters. A little bit of a snap for Kravitz. Reggie 6 seconds already ahead of Matt. That's crazy. But Shazza still keeping behind. Still he's behind Kravitz for a bit. Reggie with a fast lap of 1:22.1. Jovi may be thinking there was a driver behind Levy, probably now going to do his drive through. Coke lost the rear out of turn 2. Jovi tried to overtake him, but now Noise can overtake Jovi going into turn 4, and he manages to do so still going into turn 4, and he manages as there is Shinumnai who spun, and ahead of them Kravitz is going slowly. He has no piece of front wing as Coke goes into Noise's race is going bad to worse yet again. Jovi trying to overtake Kravitz around the outside. Both Alphas are trying to overtake Kravitz as there is contact between Jovi and Kravitz. That seems a bit too familiar with one incident that happened in 2019. But Matt's still P2. I think he almost lost the rear out of turn 13, I think that was. Or 14, I don't know. Shazza still staying in P3, still kind of keeping close to Matt, as there is Diego, I think. Yeah, that's Diego who has spun out of turn 6. Rich P5, Coke P4, then Rich is in P5, Noise down to P6, Jovi P7, Tur P8 from the P11 that he was a couple of laps ago, Lamas P9, Levy P10. He's in P10. It's kind of, wait, wasn't he P9 when he was going into this drive through, and still he's P10? Crazy. And he's no, that was Shinumnai who was spun, and he retires on the track, but his car is not totaled, so that's from the rage quit. Kravitz, he has gambled to go onto the inters. Doesn't look like it doesn't look like that the tires are optimal right now, as he was sliding a bit. And Shinumna is the second car to DNF out of this race. Coke has set a new fastest lap, 122. Well, noise now, 122.0. Diego gets 3 seconds for multiple warnings. Reggie 7 seconds out of Matt. Lamas now setting fastest lap 121.8. So this seems that the track is evolving. It's getting better out here. So drivers now shortly will try to make, will gamble, make a little gamble to maybe go onto the inters. As Jovi has spun out of turn 5, and that allows Tur and Lamas to overtake him, but he's still ahead of Leby, as I don't think he has a piece of front wing. No, he doesn't. And Kravitz retires and he is as well yet again a driver who retires just out of rage. Well, I don't know if rage, but just by pressing the button. Reggie 120.7. So this is, I think, the time where drivers will start to think maybe going onto inters. Albo has gone onto the new inters, I think, as Rich is going for the inters. I think it should be for the inters. Let's see. And yes, that's what I've been predicting, as well as his teammate. He is going as well onto the inters. Well, as well changing his front wing as well, but maybe going into the inters. Let's see if he's gonna change into inters. Yeah, he is as well changing. Well, like I said, he's gonna change his front wing, but as well going onto inters. Wait, someone has spun, I think. That was Lewis in the Aston Martin, spun. As Diego gets disqualified for going the wrong way. Not sure about that. Beautiful camera angle. As more drivers are going into the pits, now Lewis, well, he had to, but as well Lewis in the Aston Martin, these are bots, so not to worry about them. The gap between Reggie and Matt has gone down, which we didn't see, as Matt goes into the pit lane. Lamas has spun out of turn 11, and that promotes Leby and Rich up by one place. Here Matt has gone to the pits to serve 5 seconds and to change to inters. Tur and Noise are gonna go onto inters as well as there's more drivers going into the pits to change to the inters. So only now both the Red Bulls, as there's, I don't know what was happening there, but Reggie, well, both Red Bulls, Coke, well, top 3 are the only drivers to be still on the inters, wets, as Rich has, I think, has undercut it, Matt, by going early onto the inters. Albo with the new fast lap, 120.5 in the inters, so this shows that it's the time to go onto the inters. And Reggie goes into the pits, as well as Shazza. Coke will as well go into the pits and change his front wing. So now all the drivers will be on the inters shortly. When well now only Coke, but he has to change his front wing, and now everyone is on the wets. Inters. Rich sets a new fast lap, and he goes ahead of ahead of Coke. So that's him now up to P3 and to the podium place, as he goes P2 for now, just ahead of Shazza. As Shazza has a penalty of 3 seconds. Okay, so that's just only for the corner cutting or some kind of a track limit thing. But Reggie's still 8 seconds out of Rich. that shows that well, for now he has been he got the pole for the sprint. He has led every single lap in the sprint. So he got the pole position for the race, and he has for now led every single lap of this race. But there is still 26 laps to go, so everything can happen. As I'm as well wondering, still, like, the game hasn't crashed. So, and I think I have found one solution for that. Hopefully I don't jinx it. Rich sets a new fastest lap, 118.7. And Noise sets a new fastest lap, 118.7. And probably maybe Lamas will now set a fastest lap shortly. This shows that the track is evolving, it's drying up. Yep, 118.5. And maybe someone behind him will maybe go faster. Maybe Albo. We don't know. But like I said, the track is evolving, so it's getting drier and drier. It's a bit quiet. Technically, like, well, obviously it's nothing for there is no DRS because it's wet. The closest gap to someone is Coke and Tur, Libby and Jovi, and Shaza and Rich. As Shaza made a mistake out of turn 12, Reggie sets a new fast lap, but Shaza made a mistake out of turn 12, and that allows Matt to now be really close to Shaza. He's getting really close now. Turn 3, 4 tenths. I don't think he will get him into turn 4. Coke gets 3 seconds for the track limits. Shaza's pace on the wet track hasn't been the best, as we've seen. That's how life goes. Sometimes things go right, sometimes they just go really badly. Nothing really to watch, I don't think. But Noise in P5. Reggie, for now, I think the live standings, it will be Reggie. Reggie has now gained every single point that he could get. 1 point for the fastest lap in the race, and well, as of right now he's P1, so 25 points, so that's 26, and then plus 8 points from the sprint, that's 26 plus 8, that's 34. Noise, he has been 4th in the sprint, and now he's 5th in the race, so that's 14 points. So Reggie will gain 22 points, and maybe win the championship here, actually, as there are only, if I'm correct, only 2 rounds, and there is yellow flags, and that's Coke has spun out of turn 6, and that allows Lamas to overtake him. It looks like, and it feels like that he has some kind of damage. Well, now he has rear wing damage, that's for sure. Maybe he had some front wing damage. We don't quite see, but if you could get a better camera. Well, at least for now he has rear wing damage. Now he has front wing damage, that's for sure. He doesn't have front wing, and now there is a full safety car caused by Coke, well, you could kinda say that was deliberate, but I'm not gonna assume that. But full safety car is out, so that will bring the grid closer to each other, and the lead that Reggie has done is gonna deteriorate, and also that allows Shaza to get closer to Rich, and Rich is gonna be in bit of a danger, since he made a beautiful Matt had 5 seconds, so he gained 1 position there, and then he overtook Shaza on the undercut that he went earlier onto the inters. As well, it allows for Noise to catch up to the field. But basically, as well, it allows for everyone to be closer, so maybe as well it will cause more chaos as Reggie goes. What? His went off track, getting him a bit distracted as Tur is risking for the slick tires. Well, it doesn't look like it's raining. So George gets the 5 seconds for collision with Reggie, and gets 5 seconds as well for ignoring yellow flags. That's interesting. But Tur, the first driver to risk it to slicks. Well, it's not raining. It's not raining, that's for sure. But still looks a bit too wet for now. Matter of takes Shaza. That's a bit interesting. What the hell is going on here? But now, Noise has collided with Matt. Noise maybe now has some front wing damage, maybe. We will see if he goes in the pits. Well, it doesn't look like it, but basically everyone goes into the pits besides Shaza. So that means that drivers are now going for the slick tires and probably mediums, since the mediums are the better tire now. Yeah, drivers are going to the slick tires. And basically Rich goes onto hards, interestingly. The most important thing now is to not do the thing that the Noise did out of the pit lane limiter thing, as he out of the pit lane, the pit limiter, as well as as the Martin who was spun, I think, as well spun, and now no front wing. So that's, well, now he's going straight to the barrier. And for the cameraman. But for Noise, that's, well, it might be the thing that will cost him the championship. George gets 5 seconds for collision with Tur. Interesting. Lewis in the Aston Martin has retired. But it's a bit interesting that Rich went for the hard tires. Shaza, I'm kind of confused that he stayed out, because now he's gonna lose more positions. But I think he will go, as Tur is losing positions to. Oh, Tur has spun, and that allowed few drivers to go out of him, as Lamas was on the went for the inters, I think, accidentally. Noise going for the hards. Well, he had no choice, basically. Unfortunately, now, and that's him down to P7. Maybe actually P8, because Albo is looking hungry to overtake him, and he overtakes him. While Noise is still stuck in the pit lane, on the pit lane exit. But for now it looks like this. Reggie still leading. Well, he won't get the Grand Chelem now anymore because he has not led every single lap. Or the thing that goes like that. Rich P2, Matt P3, Jovi P4. That's brilliant actually for the Alfa Romeo for now. Well, I think now it's dry, so Shaza is not gonna have the same pace that he had in the he's not gonna have the same pace that he had on the wet. As Itka goes in this lap, weirdly that few drivers still have to catch up the safety car. I think hopefully Reggie will wait for them as long as he can, but he probably doesn't care about them. He only now cares about the restart that he's gonna make, and it looks like he's not still going, but he's now going, so it's a restart go, and Rich doesn't get the best of restarts that he can't really overtake him, but Matt is looking hungry behind him on the fresher, or actually not fresher, but just on the hards, as there was a car going wide on turn 3. That was Alba, I think. Noise down in P11, but Matt overtakes Rich going into turn 4, and now that's Rich down to P3. Jovi is still ahead of Shaza in P4 as George retires in the pits. Shaza looking hungry to overtake Jovi as quickly as possible, so that he won't get tagged behind from Lamas. But Lamas still as well looks hungry for Shaza, and Albo looks hungry for Lamas, and Libby looks hungry for Albo. So basically, all the drivers are hungry for everyone, not in the way that they would eat each other, obviously. Just hungry for the positions. Reggie sets the new fastest lap. Well, obviously he's gonna set the new fastest lap. As teammates in the Alfa Romeo are fighting, maybe it wasn't fighting. Maybe it was just a bit team orders, because Jovi is on the mediums and Rich is on the hards. As Shaza trying to send a dummy. Now going into turn 6, Shaza maybe going. No, he doesn't, but maybe he will try to go in here. Well, no, he's not gonna try to go in here on the inside. He was too far back. But that allows Jovi. Well, it doesn't actually allow Jovi, because Jovi seems to have the greatest pace. It actually looks like Rich is still staying behind Jovi, so Jovi's pace is currently at nowhere. Matt is still being really close to Reggie, as there's yellow flags, and that is Albo who has spun out of turn 11. That promotes Noise up to P9. Reggie again setting the fastest lap, 1:10.619, and DRS enabled. Matt doesn't have the DRS on Reggie, but Shaza has overtaken Rich. Now Shaza is going to overtake the DRS, and can he maybe overtake him into turn 4? No, he doesn't. But Jovi goes at, I think, a bit wide, but Shaza doesn't get the greatest runs out of turn 4, and Shaza's still behind an Alfa Romeo, now just different one, as there was Shaza. No, that was Matt spun in the background. Well, Shaza has overtaken Jovi, so that's back again. Red Bull 1-2, as Rich has lost places to now Lebby and Lamas. as he loses again more places to Coke, and probably now Matt. Well, oh, Matt tagged him. That was on Matt. He just miscalculated his overtake. Jovi still has the DRS though on Shaza, so he can still rely a bit on his DRS. But on the next lap, for sure, Lamas is gonna overtake Jovi, and that has allowed Noise to get to up to P8 from Elbow spin. And Elbow has retired as well. Well, basically everyone now behind Elbow are bots, so basically everyone now is gonna get points that are actually racing. Reggie extending the lead. And that is Coke. That's again a Ferrari, but now it's Coke who has spun out of turn 6. And that has allowed the drivers behind him to get one place up. Lamar's trying to overtake him, to overtake Jovi into turn 12. Well, he didn't, but he's really close to him now out of turn 13. Lamas overtakes the DRS, uses ERS as well a bit. He doesn't actually seem to get a run on him. There's, I think, a bit of a notch Lamas did to Jovi, but doesn't seem to do much, as he now uses all of his DRS open and around the outside, trying to go around the outside of Jovi, and that has been cleanly done, as in the back of the field. Matt has again spun, so that's him from P2 now down to P10 and many seconds behind now even his own teammate. Lepi tried to sneak past Jovi into turn 7, but he couldn't make it. Maybe he can make it as I think Jovi spun on himself out of turn 10. I'm not sure, but Noise has gained places back. Now he's up to P5, and he's now looking hungry for Rich. But he doesn't have DRS though. No, he does actually, and he overtakes him into turn 1. But Rich is still side by side with him, and there is a little bit of contact. None of the drivers spun, but now Rich is gonna get the DRS. And well, it is on scene, but Noise has greater straight line speed, so it's Noise up to P4. Matt has retired in the pits, so yeah, that's the race has gone from I think was great to now really bad, as he now retired in pits. Now for next target for Noise is, well, one, to defend from Rich, but as well to catch up to Lamas. But that's maybe gonna only happen in the next 5-7 laps, as Lepi overtakes the Rich even before the DRS zone. And I think Rich made a mistake from there, and that's allowed Lepi up to P5, as Coke overtakes Jovi going into turn 1. As I think, no, I don't think. Bots are fighting. But can Jovi get a run on Coke now into turn 4? He's trying to go on the inside. He's going on the inside, but he doesn't make it. Coke runs a little bit wide, but no contact between them, and none of them spins. The Rich 3 seconds. But Lepi's being very close to Noise. Well, Lepi has 3 seconds. I think only 3 seconds. Yeah, 3 seconds. Tora has 13 seconds, but I think half of them, but 10 seconds out of them were just only the as Lepi spins out of turn 12, but I was talking about the fact that, well, Tara has, although he has 13 seconds, has 30 NFs. Where has he DNF'd? Here. It's a very weird place to spin, as Levias was spins out of turn 13, but that's caused again a safety car, and that has allowed again the gap for Reggie, the 10 seconds that he has made, now to deteriorate, and for Shaza with his 6 seconds of time penalties, doesn't look great because Lamas behind him has no penalties. Noise as well doesn't have any penalties. So Noise can get the podium and maybe still be in this championship fight somewhat. Well, Coke doesn't seem to be in the championship fight anymore. And I think there was one other driver. I think it was it was Shaza, but I think Shaza is not gonna be really close. As Reggie pits for softs, I think. Shaza as well. Lamas goes in as well. Noise as well. Rich as well for softs. Coke goes as well to softs or to the pits. Sorry. But I muted myself because I don't think you guys like to hear me sneeze. But Rich has went to mediums. Why has he done that? Softs can go easily to the end. Oh well, but the drivers that are actually racing top 8, well, most of the top 8 are gonna be behind the safety car at the end of this lap. Only Lebby, I think, will not be behind the safety car at the end of this lap, but I don't think the safety car will go in on this lap. But yeah. But while the safety car is out, at least for this one lap, what I can, I'm gonna do maybe some little bit calculations about the championship things. So I'm not gonna go into the right. Let me take a look. So looks like Reggie got he has 215 points. He has gotten 8. So that's that's 223. Noise has gotten 4 points, so that's for him. 159. That's 64 points between them, and if Reggie wins it and Noise comes in P4, which it looks like it, so 223 plus 26 as the Safety car. Doesn't seem to go on this lap. So that's for the lifetime standings. That's 249 points for Reggie, and for Noise that looks like 159 points plus. Well, for now, if this is gonna be like this, so that's 15 points, so that's 147. So 249 minus 174. That's 75 points between them. So if it's gonna end up like this, Reggie is gonna win this championship here in Brazil. It can be in here. There's what those 2 points. So there is only 50 points, 52 points, and then the sprint in Abu Dhabi, that's 60 points. So yeah, if Noise even gets P2, then that's not enough for him. So something needs to happen for Reggie, maybe a spin, or at least a spin, so that will cause him probably to be down the order like P9, because now as well bots are here, so maybe that will go him down even further. Reggie, I think, is from UK. Yeah, he's from UK. so I don't mess up this like I did with the other driver winning the race, winning the championship. But safety car in this lap. Reggie controlling the pace. For now, we're gonna equip the telemetry. Well, it doesn't seem to be for long, because Reggie is going already, and it's only 7 laps of racing to go. Well, of course there can be a safety car later on, but it doesn't seem to look like it. Well, Coke has already spun and damaged his front wing, and going really slow. Coke, that's not allowed. Okay, he hurt me. He somehow hurt me, but Reggie still being in P1, not making. He has to survive these 7 laps of racing. And these 7 short laps of racing. The average lap time here is, well, his fastest lap is 110.6, so I would say like around 111, around like somewhere there, the normal pace, around there. It doesn't seem to look like he improves his fastest lap once again. Coke has DNF'd as well. I don't know how these bots are gonna. Well, Luke's bot goes in the pits, but I don't know what happens with F1 Lewis and BB8's dark bots. Do they get points or not? Lamas gets 3 seconds, so that's Noise gonna be in P2 probably. But it won't be enough. It won't be enough. He needs to be ahead of Reggie. Libby and Jovi have a bit of a scrap down the order. Well, not really down the order, but just it's like the back for now. Noise. He doesn't need to actually overtake Lamas. But if he wants to get that P2, then sure, why not? Reggie again sets a new fastest lap, and even faster, 109.769. 96, sorry. 96, as Noise overtakes Lamas, but Lamas now is gonna have the DRS on Noise, and DRS activated, and both of them are using ERS. Lamas on the outside, he's still in there, going a bit off track, I think. They're still side by side. Lamas going a bit off track. They're still side by side, as there is Shaza who has spun out of turn 6. Lamas getting again 3 seconds, so that's 6 seconds for him. But he is still ahead of Noise. Libby in the back, spinning as well, just in the turn 8. Yeah, turn 8. But for Reggie, it looks like it's gonna be a comfortable win in here. It's still few laps, or four laps till the end. And behind him, Noise and Lamas are still fighting for it. Libby going into the pits, and it's gonna be the same thing again, but just Lamas now on the inside. A bit touching, I think, from them, but Noise finally being ahead of Lamas. Can Noise's pace be actually this good to catch Reggie? I don't think. It's gonna be mainly between fighting with between Noise and Lamas in here. Well, Lamas is fighting for just track position, like on track being second, although he has 6 seconds. He's using all of his DRS, and DRS obviously activated. Now trying to go on the inside, he's diving on the inside, but he's not made the move done quite yet. He has made Noise to go a bit wider to leave space, and now Lamas again the same thing, but just doesn't have the ERS. He doesn't have the DRS, but he doesn't have the ERS. He needs to save, as well as Noise doesn't have any ERS. Rich behind them has quite a bunch of it, but his pace doesn't look the best since he is on the mediums. Yeah, these are bots, so we're not interested in them. Lebby, well, props to him that he is not DNF'd, as well as for Shazar, that both of these drivers have not DNF'd, even though that they're basically out of this race already. And obviously Joby can spin, or someone ahead, so that Shazar will get 1 place, but for Lebby, no one is gonna spin like that they're gonna lose like 28 seconds, or 30, basically. As there are yellow flags, that's Lebby, turn 8, lap 34. Reggie is probably enjoying these moments for now, just making sure he's not gonna do any mistakes in here whatsoever, not getting on the power too early, and just not making any mistakes, not going onto the grass and going wide and maybe possibly spinning, or basically any sort of mistakes. Reggie is gonna start the second to last lap in few seconds. Lamar still looking fighty with Noise. He tries to go around the outside of turn 1, and well, he gets the move stick, but now Noise has the DRS and more ERS, so Noise, he has to go around the outside, uses all of his ERS, and he gets the move easily done, going into turn 4. Rich still spectating it with the first class seats. Rich was a bit wide, but anyways. These two are still looking fighty, even though Lamas, like I said before, he wants to fight for the, maybe just for the enjoyment as well. That this race is not gonna be bored as hell. Props for both of these drivers. Rich as well looking very close to both of these. Reggie starting the last lap of the Brazilian Grand Prix. Shaza overtakes Jovi. The Rich overtaking both of these two, but he gets a bad exit out of turn 2, and now Noise can easily get him. And going into turn 4, he goes on the inside. The Rich use all of his ERS to get that overtake done, so that the Rich up to P3, he would have been anyway, because Lamas has 6 seconds. Lamas has 6, so this standings between these three already with the penalties acquired. Well, they're still looking for fighty going into turn 12 and 11, but Reggie has made it, and it's going to Britain in BPRL Season 3, and he's the 3-time champion in BP. Noise finishing in P2. Well, he lost the championship, but he at least he can still fight for the 2nd place. The Rich in 3rd, Lamas P4, Jovi P3, just 6 tenths behind Lamas with those penalties. Shaza P6, and Lebby finishing in P7. What a drive from Reggie this whole weekend. Pole position in qualifying, led every single lap in sprint, getting the pole position or the 1st place in the sprint and for the race, and P1 won the championship, fastest lap. What can you ask for more? And luckily for this race, my game did not crash for once. But what a season from Reggie. What a season. Finishing it 2 races before the season ends. And I don't know I don't know how it's in the constructors, but Reggie maximizing the points this whole weekend. Noise P2, well, overall in the points. Rich 3rd, Shaza 4th, Lamas 5th. Or maybe I will just talk about the race results. Many drivers have retired. Actually, only 7 drivers have gone to the finish line, like actual humans, and notable also like F1 Lewis in the Aston Martin, BB Doug and Luke. But what a drive from Reggie. Getting it. He can just look at this season and be proud of himself to be a 3-time champion in BP. Well, yeah. And yeah, I mean, I don't think I need to add anything to it. It's been a fun time as well to commentate this, and actually, I'm gonna stay here because I finally found a solution. But yeah, this has been me, the Wallstorm, and see ya guys next week in Bahrain.